consistent travel routes used repeatedly across generations. These ancient pathways shaped the land itself. As herds passed through forests and plains, they cleared vegetation, compacted soil, and created corridors that influenced plant growth and water flow. Dinosaurs were ecosystem engineers, reshaping their environment simply by existing within it. For predators, movement meant strategy. They followed herds from a distance, learned migration patterns, and timed attacks carefully. The Jurassic was not chaos. It was organized pressure refined through evolution. Communication without words. Dinosaurs lived in a world without language, but not without communication. Though sound does not fossilize anatomical clues, offer hints. Hollow bones, air sacs, crest structures, and skull cavities suggest that many dinosaurs could produce low-frequency sounds, capable of traveling long distances. Such calls may have been used to maintain contact within herds, warn of predators, signal dominance or mating readiness. Visual communication was equally important. Body posture, tail movement, coloration patterns, and ornamentation, such as crests or plates, likely played roles in social interaction. Communication allowed dinosaurs to function not just as individuals, but as members of living systems. Social lives and group behavior. Evidence increasingly suggests that many dinosaurs were social animals. Trackways show groups moving together at consistent speeds. Fossil beds preserve individuals of the same species buried together. These patterns hint at herding cooperation, or at least tolerance of proximity. For herbivores, group living increased survival. More eyes to detect predators, protection for juveniles, reduced chance of individual targeting. For predators, social behavior may have been temporary or situational. Some species likely hunted alone, while others may have cooperated opportunistically when facing large prey. Social structure was not uniform, but it was adaptive, raising the next generation. Reproduction was one of the most vulnerable stages of dinosaur life. Eggs were laid in nests, sometimes dug, sometimes built of vegetation or sediment. These sites required stable environments, not too dry, not flooded, not easily discovered. Fossilized nests reveal critical insights. Some species laid eggs in clusters. Others returned to the same nesting sites year after year. In certain cases, adults appear to have remained nearby. This suggests varying levels of parental care. For hatchlings, survival was brutal. Most would not reach adulthood. Predation, starvation, and environmental dangers claimed millions. But those that survived entered a world where growth meant safety. Fast growth, faster risk. Many Jurassic dinosaurs grew rapidly. Bone microstructure shows lines of fast growth, particularly during early life. This rapid development was essential. It reduced the time a dinosaur spent as small, defenseless prey. Yet fast growth demanded constant energy. Juveniles fed almost continuously and remained at high risk. Fossil evidence shows that young dinosaurs were the most common victims of predators. The Jurassic world favored those who could grow fast or die early. Fear as an evolutionary force. Fear shaped behavior as much as hunger did. Prey species became hyper-aware of their surroundings. Sudden movements, unfamiliar scents, or distant calls could signal danger. Dinosaurs that reacted too slowly were eliminated from the gene pool. Over time, fear refined instincts. Herd positioning, alert postures, synchronized movement. These behaviors were responses to predators, but they also influenced predator strategies in return. Predator and prey co-evolved in a never-ending exchange of pressure. Learning from the land. Dinosaurs were not mindless creatures acting on reflex alone. Their brains, especially in theropods, showed development in regions associated with balance coordination and spatial awareness. This suggests learning through experience. Young dinosaurs likely learned where to find food, which areas were dangerous, how to move within groups. Mistakes were costly, but successful behavior was passed on mother to offspring, herd to herd. Knowledge was not written, it was lived. Death is part of life. Death was constant in the Jurassic world. Animals fell from age, injury, disease, or predation. Their bodies became resources feeding scavengers, insects, microbes. Nutrients returned to the soil fueling plant growth. Life fed life. This cycle maintained ecological balance and ensured that nothing truly went to waste. Even the largest giants eventually became part of the system they once dominated. A world of routine and risk. The Jurassic was not continuous drama. Most days were routine. Feeding, traveling, resting, avoiding danger. But routine existed under constant threat. At any moment, balance could collapse into violence. Survival depended not on strength alone, but on awareness, memory, and adaptability. Behavior, not size, often determined fate. Chapter 4, Conclusion. To understand Jurassic dinosaurs is to see them not as monsters frozen in battle, but as animals navigating complex lands. They made choices. They adapted. They endured. Their world was shaped by movement, communication, cooperation, and fear. Every step they took echoed through ecosystems and through time. In the final chapter, we will witness how this world changed, how the Jurassic era ended, how life transformed, and what legacy its dinosaurs left behind. Chapter 5. The End of the Jurassic Transformation. Survival and Legacy. The Jurassic world did not end with fire falling from the sky. There was no single moment of annihilation, no sudden silence, no instant collapse. Instead, the Jurassic faded, slowly, relentlessly reshaped by forces beyond the control of even the greatest giants to ever walk the earth. This was not an extinction born of catastrophe. It was a transition. And like all great transitions in Earth's history, it changed everything. A world in motion once again. As the late Jurassic progressed, the planet continued to shift. Continents drifted farther apart. Vast supercontinents fractured into recognizable landmasses. New oceans widened, altering wind patterns, rainfall, and global climate circulation. These changes were subtle, but their effects were profound. The warm, stable environments that had nurtured endless forests began to fragment. Regional climates diversified. Some areas grew wetter, others dried. The uniform Jurassic world gave way to a patchwork of environments, each imposing new evolutionary pressures. Life had to adapt or fall behind. Plants change, ecosystems follow. One of the most important transformations occurred quietly at the base of the food chain. While flowering plants would not fully rise until the Cretaceous, the late Jurassic saw increasing diversity in plant communities. Vegetation structures shifted, forest compositions changed. For herbivores, this meant altered food availability. Gigantic sauropods had thrived in a world dominated by towering conifers and cycads. But as ecosystems became more varied, specialization became more important than sheer size. Smaller herbivores, more adaptable, less energy intensive, began to find new opportunities. The age of unchallenged giants was slowly coming to an end. Predators face a new reality. As prey communities changed, predators were forced to respond. Apex hunters like Allosaurus had evolved to exploit abundant, massive prey. But as ecosystems fractured and herbivore populations shifted, predator strategies needed refinement. Speed, flexibility, and intelligence became increasingly valuable traits. The late Jurassic marked the beginning of a transition away from pure size dominance toward adaptability-driven survival, a trend that would define the Cretaceous. Predators who could adjust thrived. Those locked into narrow niches began to decline. Not an ending, but a turning point. Importantly, the end of the Jurassic was not marked by mass extinction. Many dinosaur groups survived the transition and carried their legacy forward. Sauropods did not vanish, but they evolved. Predators did not disappear, but they diversified. The Jurassic closed not with destruction, but with transformation. This makes it one of the most important evolutionary crossroads in Earth's history. The dawn of the Cretaceous world. By approximately 145 million years ago, the Jurassic gave way to the Cretaceous period. The world that emerged was both familiar and radically new. Continents were farther apart. Coastlines stretched longer. Shallow seas flooded interior regions, and new plants would soon revolutionize life on land. Dinosaurs entered this new world carrying the imprint of the Jurassic within them. Giant bodies refined hunting strategies, complex social behavior. But from this point forward, innovation would accelerate. The rules were changing. Why the Jurassic still matters. The Jurassic was the age of foundation. It was during this period that dinosaurs reached their first true peak. Terrestrial ecosystems stabilized on a global scale. Biological systems balanced size, energy, and efficiency. The Jurassic perfected the template for dinosaur dominance. Without it, the later brilliance and eventual tragedy of the Cretaceous would not have been possible. Lessons written in stone. The end of the Jurassic teaches us something vital about life on Earth. Survival does not belong to the biggest, nor the strongest, nor the most feared. It belongs to those who adapt. The Jurassic giants ruled a world perfectly suited to them. When that world changed, power alone was not enough. Evolution does not reward dominance. It rewards flexibility. Echoes in the modern world. Though the Jurassic ended millions of years ago, its legacy is everywhere. Birds, descendants of small theropod dinosaurs, carry Jurassic anatomy into the sky. Ecosystem structures shaped by dinosaurs still influence plant growth patterns and fossil landscapes. Even modern predator-prey dynamics echo relationships first refined in Jurassic forests. The world we inhabit today is not separate from that ancient past. It is built upon it. Why Jurassic dinosaurs still captivate us. The Jurassic holds a unique place in human imagination, not because it ended dramatically, but because it represents a world fully realized. A planet where life had time to grow immense, where ecosystems reached balance, where creatures became legends, not through myth, but through biology. The Jurassic feels complete, and perhaps that is why it fascinates us still. Final reflection. The Jurassic world rose gradually, it thrived brilliantly, and it faded with quiet dignity. Its giants did not fall to a single blow. They were shaped, refined, and ultimately transformed by time. In their place, new worlds emerged. The story of the Jurassic is not one of ending, but of becoming. And in its bones, its footprints, and its silent stone, the Jurassic still speaks, warning, teaching, and reminding us. No world lasts forever, but every world leaves a legacy.